For a very long time in South Africa, we have witnessed young boys join gangs and turn violent. I remember there was a situation when I used to stay in Rustenburg. There was this gang of young boys who used to call themselves the SVKs. And, those young boys would terrorize that community. They would terrorize everybody around Rustenburg to a point that even the older people were scared of those boys at that time. And mind you, they were young boys. Majority of them were still in school, so it was not a very great situation to see, because basically what it rings is that we have our future as a country to worry about. Now, in a recent information that I just received, that I recently wrote about on our blog, there is a community in the Northwest. It's called Switzerland, and in that community, a report came. Talking about how there is a group of young boys, some who are even to said to be as young as 12 years old, who parade the streets holding weapons. And the community obviously is devastated about this site. They're devastated to see this. One thing about young boys who turn into criminals is that who turn into gangs, basically, let me not say criminals, who turn into gangs, is that the majority of them are a lot reckless because they don't consider anything. If it wouldn't take them a long time to attack you, to stab you. So there is an article that I'm just gonna read through, and then while reading it, I'm just gonna talk about it and just explain my input on it and what I basically think about the situation. What you're seeing on the screen right now is an actual footage that I received today while researching about this story and doing my investigation. And it's very concerning to see this big group of young boys, because it's a very large group. This is something that we've seen a couple of times, and to see it happening in Northwest, it's a bit scary, because it's something that we saw in Gauteng, in the slums of Gauteng most of the times. I would like to say it has possibly reached all corners of the country, because Northwest usually is the last to get access to certain things. But that's actual footage, and what the article reads about is pretty short, so if you have time, you can simply go to our website and just read it. It says the growing sense of insecurity has led to lockdown like routine for many locals, who retreat into their homes as soon as night falls. As the sun sets, we lock our doors. It's not safe, one resident said, describing a community under siege. So there is a documentary that I saw, I don't know when and I don't know where I watched it, but on that documentary, it was like a territorial thing, right? So basically, kids were not able to go to school because uh, they cannot cross into the other territory. Like if you live in another territory, you are not allowed to go to another territory. It doesn't matter if you are going there for work, it doesn't matter if you are going there to school. You were not allowed to cross over to another territory. So this sounds almost similar. The fact that people are scared, and mind you, the people that we are talking about, these are not young kids who are scared. These are fathers, these are mothers, these are basically parents who are scared of kids as young as 12 years, because they parade the streets in weapons and then they attack and then kill. So continuing, it says that numerous incidents have been reported, including break-ins at homes and vandalism of local spaza shops and violent assault. So they break into people's houses. Obviously, this sounds like it's a bit drug related, because in most situations when we see people vandalizing, stealing homes, especially in a local community such as this, it's basically because they need to feed their cravings of most probably drugs. You understand? So they break into people's houses and vandalize local spaza shops, and also not only that, they also assault the people who live in the community. Imagine in a village in the Northwest being scared to go outside, being scared to walk outside when it's dark. Here it's a bit, where I am right now, it's a bit normal that when it gets dark you don't have to be outside, because obviously a lot of things happen. But thinking about a place like a village in the northwest, because most of the time that's where we have our elders staying. That's where we go when we want to go home, basically, when we want to go rest and avoid the whole city life, the whole, crime in the city. We go home to kind of reset and, have a little bit of peace of mind. Now, seeing that these types of, activities have reached places like this, it's very sad, because majority of the people who live in these places are basically elders. You understand? They're basically people who are older. That's basically our grandmothers that we live there, while we come this side to kind of try and look for a better life. So it's quite sad to see that these types of activities have, went and reached, villages. It's very sad. It also continues to say that the frequency of gunshots heard during the night has only heightened the anxiety of those living in the area. So not only are they using weapons, your knives, axes and whatever, they also have access to guns. Kids as young as 12 years old. These are not your 30-year-olds, gangs. Those are the people that we know mostly are in gangs. Here are kids as young as 12 years old. They even shoot at each other. Imagine every night hearing gunshots go off in a village. That's where you're supposed to, feel safe, basically. So it continues to say the violence reached a tragic new low on Tuesday night, which is the 20th of May, which was yesterday by the time of recording this video. When a person was killed during a violent confrontation involving gang members and some community members. So it's obvious that the community is gonna try by any means, although I feel like they don't have the power nor the necessary tools to handle these types of situations. So unfortunately, a life was lost on Tuesday because there was a confrontation, meaning that the community tried to, combat the situation. They tried to contain the situation and confront it, but during that whole situation, a community member was killed. While the details remain scarce and the police have yet released the identity of the deceased or the specific circumstances surrounding the killing, it is widely believed to be a direct consequence of ongoing gang conflicts, which is, said that a person had to be caught in the crossfire while trying to stop kids from making lives difficult, because basically this life doesn't really end well. It's basically what they say: you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So a lot of them really do not end up anywhere. A lot of them die. We have seen even popular gangsters get killed in South Africa. So it's clear to say that there is no escaping this. Once you make this your life and you commit to living this type of lifestyle, eventually your day will basically come. You understand? A lot of them have not escaped this life. We have seen a lot of them who were famous, who were popular, get killed while we thought that they were popular. Maybe they have protection. So it's clear that this life is something that you never actually get to leave behind. So it says that the aftermath, okay, some local schools reportedly did not operate as normal, with teachers sending learners home as a precaution due to safety concerns. Now, we have this gang activities going on, which is basically affecting learners badly, because obviously they cannot go to school. Imagine going to school. You don't know if it's basically like living in a war zone. You understand? Going to school, you are not sure whether you will come back. So, I applaud the teachers for doing this, for sending the learners back home, because once the learners are at school, their safety is basically in their hands. And if they cannot protect the kids, then this is the best decision, for them during that situation. So kids schools are not operating, basically people are not going out when the sun sets. It means that even before the sunset, people are not happy, they are not at peace, because they do not you cannot have peace living in a place that's basically a war zone. And whilst even if you can go home at night, you never know if they can break into your house, if they can come and rob you and do whatever, because basically safety, it's not a thing in this situation. So, in the response to the unrest, public order policing units from Bloemhof and Vryburg have been deployed to monitor the situation. Despite their presence, the tension remains palpable, and the community continues to wait further information and assurance from the police. Um, Now, this is a tough situation to be in, because at the end of the day, as much as we expect the police to sort out everything, as you have seen in the video that I shared, it's a lot of young boys. So, meaning this is something that extends beyond the community that's currently, you know, we are currently talking about right now. Meaning, obviously, the police cannot just arrest everybody. What they can do is arrest those who are caught in the act. You understand? And one thing that I've learned and that I've came to realize as growing up and stuff is that you cannot force a person to do anything unless they themselves decide that they want to change. So as much as we can have the police observe the situation and everything, it won't change the people unless they themselves decide that this is what they want to do, they want to change. So if they have told themselves that this is the life they want to see, if this is the life they want to live, basically they'll obviously continue living like that, and they'll obviously continue terrorizing the community. Because if the police arrests 10 today, there's also obviously another group, there's also another group, there's also another group. So this is a battle that I do not understand how, at this point, I don't understand how this battle can be won, in short. But the way it seems, it's something that's gonna take way more than, way more resources. The police alone won't be able to handle the situation. I don't know if the government can do anything at this point, but I know that the police alone will definitely not be able to stop these attacks. They won't be able to stop, everything, the gang crimes, because gangs are glorified in South Africa. That's the reality. Gangs are always glorified. We see people on podcasts always talking about how they used to be gangsters and how they made a lot of money. That's basically glorifying these gangs. You are not raising awareness and preventing kids from possibly joining gangs. If you have a gangster on a podcast sharing a story of how he got away with stealing 50 million, you understand? So this battle can only be won if we have the whole country working together. But the police on their own, I doubt they'll be able to contain the situation. So yeah, that's basically it. Let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section. Hopefully something will be done, because education is very important, and this situation as it is right now, it's already affecting the education of a lot of kids that live in that area. So let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section. This is currently the situation, so I'll be reading your comments. Till next time, peace.